Good day, P2 parents. Welcome to Meet the Teacher Night. Thank you, parents, for your support. My name is Tanya Sutton. I am one of the P2 teachers here at Victor Scott School. I have been in the education system for 27 years.
Good day, parents, and thank you for your continued support. My name is Mrs. Wilson, and I've also been teaching for 27 years in the Bermuda Public School System.
Our primary 2 team consists of Mrs. T. Sutton, the P2 classroom teacher, Mrs. T. Wilson, P2 classroom teacher, Mr. C. Armstrong, the P2 paraeducator. The 2021-22 school theme, Game On, Level Up, Commitment, Communication, Consistency, Collaboration. Classroom rules. These are just some rules that help to guide us through the day. Listen carefully, follow directions, work quietly, respect others, play safely. 4 core expectations, which are used at VSS. Be respectful, be responsible, be ready to learn, be safe, helps us throughout the day.
Homework is provided each Monday and due each Friday. As you can see, this page is glued in each child's book. The layout is very easy to follow, and your child should be able to complete each activity with little to no support. Some assignments will be completed on this page and some will be in the book. Each homework assignment starts with the date. And homework books, remember, are due on Fridays. Standard-based grading. You may be thinking, how my child receives their grades? Well, let me tell you. It starts with a grading scale of 1 to 4. If your child receives a 1, it means they demonstrated initial foundational skills. If your child receives a 2, it means they are approaching the standard. If they receive a 3, this is a target goal for each and every child. This means your child is meeting the standard. If your child receives a 4, this means they demonstrate understanding and their performance is beyond or exceeded the standard. So we want your child to be a 3. Here we are with the curriculum. We at the public school system use the Cambridge curriculum. We as the core teachers teach literacy, math, science, social studies, and IT. The encore teachers teach math, health, music, and art, and that's when they'll be out of the classroom away from us with someone else. Let's take a look at what we have been learning and what we will be learning. We started this school year off using the first 20 days in literacy, math, and science. Students started to see themselves in the roles of a scientist, an author, or mathematician. In the beginning of the term, we have started Readers and Writers Workshop. So we are reviewing and building on what they have previously learned in Primary 1. We have been learning about the writing process, using sequencing of events, retelling the beginning, middle, and the end of a story, and identifying the story elements, the character, the setting, or the problem or the solution. In math, we have been learning about numbers, using the number system. Students have been counting and identifying numbers using place value, counting, and grouping numbers. In addition, students are learning a variety of strategies to use while solving math problems. And in science, students have been learning about the many ways they can take care of their environment. They have been identifying objects that can be reduced, reused, or recycled. We had our very own Mr. Armstrong teach us about composting, and Mr. Thomas Taya's dad teaches about reusing egg cartons as planters. After this, we will be identifying a variety of objects that can be dissolved in water. That's going to be fun. And in social studies, students have been learning about the school environment. We've been looking at the people who are in our building and the role they're playing. Next, we'll be looking at the purpose and functions of our school for students, parents, teachers, and the principal, as we each have a different role to play. On to the schedules. First, we have our schedules. Remember that the P2 schedules mirror each other. Ms. Sutton's and Mrs. Wilson's, the schedule mirrors each other's. Here we go for the primary 2 schedules. Here is an example of what your child's day may look like on a Monday. We start with morning protocols when students have their temperature checked at the bottom of the steps or near the assembly hall, on the top of the steps where they're expected to wash their hands. And then they are ready to enter the building. Teachers wait at the door to receive their students. Once students enter the classroom, they will have an assignment or an activity to complete. By 9 o'clock, all students should be in the classroom and ready for assembly. After assembly, we have Reader's Workshop. Reader's Workshop is a time we focus on the work of the reader. The teacher will model skills for students to practice and then send them off to complete a center or work in a small group with the teacher for guided reading. Next, we have math. Math is a fun time, of course, when students explore different concepts using manipulatives. Again, they may work in small groups or independent practice while the teacher may be working with a small group. After that, we'll have Writer's Workshop. Writer's Workshop is when the teacher uses writing techniques which can build on students' fluency in writing to assist students to become more confident and capable writers. Students will continue to learn about the different story elements again and the process of writing good sentences. Next, we have Word Study. Word Study is a time that students are provided support for their spelling during writing activities and to help them decode unfamiliar words while reading. Then we have Interactive Reading Aloud. This is a fun time where we learn more about the students. This lesson engages students in reading a story that is purposely interrupted to share ideas, particularly when viewing pictures or the text. Students often make connections to themselves during interactive read aloud. And then at the end of the day on a Monday, we have PE. And you might notice on our schedule that we have PE at the same time. And although it's scheduled at the same time, they will be in different groups. One group may be with Miss Hudson and another group may be with Mr. Lugo. And then it's after school at 3 o'clock when students are to be picked up. And parents, it's a good time to let your child's teacher know how they'll be picked up or by whom they'll be picked up by. That's great information for us because we have different people coming, but we want to make sure your child ends up in the right hands. And then there are grub days. Grub days this year are taking place 3 times a year. If you notice the highlighted yellow grub days, students are to pay $2 to wear their grub day clothes to school. And in the brown, we have a grub day to celebrate the virtue winners. Of course, we would have had it October 12th. Hopefully they'll be celebrated at a later date. That's it, actually.
Contacting your child's teacher. P2 Sutton can be reached through the school office 292-1787, extension 2213. My email is tsutton@moed.bm, and P2 Wilson can be contacted as well through the school office at 292-1787, but her extension is 2737. Her email is tharvey@moed.bm. We can also be contacted through our class dojo. This is the best way to communicate. We will sure get to you by the end of the day once we track our Class Dojo. Questions and answers. Please send questions to Class Dojo, your individual teacher's Class Dojo. Thanks again for your support.
Thank you, parents, and have a great night.